Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing and random takes from a land of 10,000 lakes. This is the second half, the random take, where we ask ourselves, are we becoming hunters? Now, allow me to quickly change character.
Oh,
because you need to go over to youtube.com.
I like what's happening here.
Look for Real AF TV, real like fish and reel.
Yeah.
And observe the geek that I have just turned into.
Oh, he has turned into
This is just sitting at my desk. This sort of stuff is just sitting at my desk. The hat, because it gets cold during the day. And these are blue blocker glasses.
Yes.
I got the blue light blockers now.
Threw me for a loop. Are we talking about duck hunt here? Or
what are we talking about? No, I put on all that just to say, like, that's who I am. I am that geeky person. Like, it's true. It's real. Like, we play into our strengths. And that's, you're the fisher. And I'm the geeky tech guy on this adventure that we're on called Real AF TV.
Oh, for sure.
But the more and more we, I think, talk about cooking and wild cooking and like fishing, you've always been doing it, but the more that we do it and think about it, and the more people that we get in our lives through, marriages and work friendships and just people around us, this is a very hunt friendly area.
Oh, yes.
And I have a dog who is a rodent hunter. Yeah. And I've always been a big fan of rodent hunting because I think it's difficult. I don't know. I've never really done much of it. Done a little bit of rabbit hunting. But that was mostly just rabbit hunting where you just where they are.
Sure.
So you just sit in the front yard and wait for them.
Okay.
You're like, oh, don't worry, there's going to be rabbits. You just wait and you just get the pellet gun. It's like, it's not even real hunting.
Is that what you did with the pellet gun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Like high powered pellet gun, not a BB gun, pellet gun.
No, right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like a CO2.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So like legit air powered, like not pumping it. Even though I think that would work.
Yeah. For sure.
I have one of those, and I have pellets for it. I mean, it's a BB gun, but I got the pellets, the hollow point.
Oh yeah, that would probably work. I mean, that'll work. That'll do the trick on a rabbit for sure. Yeah. But I got my Bush Light, my limited edition hunting edition of Bush Light right here.
Are we allowed to say that? You can't sue me. I stopped like 30 inches short.
But it's always been something that I've sort of because I've done it before, like I just said about the rabbits, and it's been something that we've sort of done and that I've sort of done and been around, because it's just like everybody, it's not hard to find people in this area, like I said. And this is really the part that I'm ready to dive into, is you just went pheasant hunting for your first time.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So I'm super pumped to hear that story. And preface the like trolley, are we becoming hunters thing with like, it could be happening. I'm definitely not a hunter right now.
I'm not. So because of my experience, I would have to say that I'm not a hunter. Like experience in like how many times I've gone, not the experience of going hunting, just because I haven't gone that much. Your lack
of times that you've been hunting.
Yes. But without a doubt, because of how much fun pheasant hunting was, I'm hunter for sure. I'm doing that again. I will do it a bunch more, because that is the shit. Like, man. It's the difference. So like deer hunting never really appealed to me too much.
Okay.
Because the idea of going, and I'm not talking shit about it because I've never done it before.
Oh yeah,
but the idea of going up into a deer stand and then waiting for a deer to come past is a lot like when I was younger, where my parents would be like, it's kind of odd. You weren't really into fishing when you were younger. And it's like, no, I wasn't into your fishing. I didn't like going out and sitting in the boat, dropping anchor, and then just bobber fishing all day.
Right.
I like
Right.
trolling motor, depth finder, finding the fish. If I'm not catching fish, I'm moving. I'm, constantly moving. And
Mhm.
that's
Which
what
is hunting,
pheasant
by the
hunting.
way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Well, that's
sorry.
that's well, that's
I
what
totally just
pheasant
stepped
hunting
on you.
is, you know? No, it's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Like deer hunting is like bobber fishing, where you sit in one spot and you hope
Sure.
for the good fish to come. Pheasant hunting is like you all get in the line, you just walk through a field until you find the fucking things and then you shoot them. You know? and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And I had
Yeah.
no idea that you would get that close to them before they took off.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's insane. Plus,
Did you guys have a
they
dog?
yes, that
Okay.
was another
But
cool part.
they're still close.
They are close. Like
Okay.
the
Mhm.
dog was being a little bit like he's young
Oh,
and
okay.
he's got so much fucking energy, but it was
Right.
crazy. Like you see him running around and all of a sudden he like stops and they're like, "Oh, go up to him, go up by him." And you're like, "What?" Like he's just fucking running around and all of a sudden he's like, "Fuck,
Just freezes in
I
place.
smell one in front of me. You come up here and I'm gonna charge at him. I'll wait for you."
I'll
And
wait
then but
for you.
sometimes he wasn't waiting and he like scare him up and he take off. But
Yeah.
it wasn't a big deal. It was awesome. But I couldn't believe it. Like I didn't know that they would just stop there. And then you walk up and then they just like dive at where they think the bird is. And then
That's awesome. I didn't know
yeah.
that either.
Yeah, dude, it literally was just like it's just running around. I've never seen that much energy. That dog just runs and runs and runs and runs.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this dog is fucking insane. I thought it would like slow down and walk slow with us, but just kind of like
Uh-huh.
trot and like smell stuff.
Mhm.
It was like running the whole time. So
It's just like full sprint for 2
yeah,
hours.
it was nuts. But yeah, dude, you're just walking around and there's like, I think we hit it on a really good day, but there's so much
Okay.
more activity too. Where I
What do you
thought
mean?
like because there's hens too.
Oh,
So
right, right.
and you only shoot the roosters.
Yeah, so
Uh,
which means you weren't at a farm. I mean, you weren't at a game farm. You were shooting
No,
live pheasant?
we were shooting live pheasants at a farm. Like this was
Yeah,
somebody's land,
somebody's land.
and we were just
Sure, yeah,
walking out there,
bitching,
and there
dude.
was so much more than I thought. Like it wasn't that far of a walk, and you're just walking through, and then all of a sudden like hen, and then they're like shoot, and you're like all right, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna blast this bitch. I was talking to myself too. I got a little bit cocky. I'm like walking out, just like muttering under my voice. I'm just like, "Come on, you gonna fly up? I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face. You're gonna get it today." And then the first one flies up, and it was far away, and I shot,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
I was like, "Damn it, I missed it." I tried to lead it, and they're all like, "Don't worry, that was pretty far away." And I say far away
Mhm.
now. I didn't know. I was like, "That felt pretty close to me." And they're
Uh-huh.
like, "No, don't worry about it. That was pretty far away." And I'm like, "That was far away, huh?" And then the second one, I end up getting close to me, and I shoot at that one, and that one was just a blunder. That one was my bad. I missed it completely. Also,
Mhm.
this is the first time I've ever tried to shoot moving targets.
Yeah,
I
that's what
shot
I was
guns
actually
before.
gonna ask.
Yeah, I shot guns before. I've never shot like clay pigeons or nothing.
Right.
So my first time is like straight into the big leagues. Like we're going
No
for
kidding.
pheasants.
For pheasants,
So
yeah.
so the
Which we're not
third one,
completely oblivious
yeah,
to, like, hunting. Again, we have people
yeah,
around us, we've talked to people about it, and we know, like, pheasant's no joke.
right,
Them
yeah.
shits is fast.
So the gun I was using was a semi-auto, and I had 3 shells in it.
Yep.
And so I shot at the first two, and I missed both of those. So I'm reloading. The third one, with this dog running around, doesn't get stirred up, and it is a foot away from me, dude. Like I don't if it was just
Jesus
ducking down, it
Christ.
fucking scared me as I'm reloading, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then the guy that I'm with, even that's like, like a veteran at this
A
shit,
seasoned vet at this
he
shit.
goes, "Where'd that one come from?" I'm like, "Right fucking next to me," and he's like, "Oh, they're hanging tight today." And I'm just like, "I guess, fuck, is this normal?" Like I had no idea. And
Right.
then like I did get it. I had a shell loaded, and I was like ready. but as I lift it, it's like perfect height with the road, and the road's far
Oh.
enough away. I'm like, dude, the road was right there, and he's like, you're not gonna hit the road from here. So I'm like, I okay, it's a gravel road, so it wasn't like
Oh, okay.
it was
Yep.
a high traffic. So,
Yep.
but I didn't know. I'm just like, I'm not gonna be that guy,
Right.
like
Yeah.
pull
No,
the
you're
trigger
being
and
a
then they're
very
just like,
respectful
yeah,
hunter
so,
and
yeah,
first time hunter too, right? Where the inexperience is kicking in. Like, I don't know, it's just a fucking road, man. I don't want to shoot at
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So it was a whole bunch of stuff right away. It was like, oh shit, that scared me. All right, I'm ready. Fuck, the road's right there. It was all these like moments of hesitation, and then the third one
Right.
I didn't even take a shot at, but it was right there. So that's three that I don't get.
That's crazy, dude.
And then we're going, one flies up and he's close enough to shoot it. He fucking blow, like this one goes limp in the air, like it's flying and then just
Yep.
ugh.
Done.
And I'm like, hells yeah, nailed that one. You fucking got it.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't know is after he shoots it, there's like all these little feathers and they're just like drifting down. Like, like in a Hallmark movie where it's
Yep.
like it
Uh-huh.
hasn't snowed for Christmas and now there's like just a couple of flakes coming down and you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh,
Uh-huh.
it's a Christmas miracle. The
Yep.
fucking feathers are floating down and I'm just like, this is fucking magical. Like, dude, I fell in love with everything about this shit.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then like I'm so novice at this shit. He picks it up and he's like, well, the dog picked it up and brought
The
it
dog
to him,
got
and
it. Yeah, of course.
he's like, "Hey, you want to shove this in my vest?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "There's a hole." You just like open it up and you shove it in the back of your fucking vest.
Sure.
I had no idea. He's like, "That's just how," and I'm like, "That makes sense. I never even thought about how you carry him around. You just shove
Right.
him in your vest and keep going."
Keep moving.
And then he gets another one right away. So I'm like, "There's two," and he's got both of them. Then one comes up and I get one. I actually got
Nice.
one. It wasn't a real good, it wasn't like his where it goes limp. I shot it and I'm like, fuck, I thought I hit that one. And then it flies like 30 feet and lands
Mhm.
again not far away. And they're like,
Mhm.
think you hit that one still. Cause he went down fast. And
Oh,
then by the
okay.
time we walked over to it, he was dead. I mean, it was like I had to walk
Oh,
another 10
sure.
feet. So I
Sure.
hit it, just
Yep.
not, I just
Solid.
didn't
Not
blast the
just
shit
like a
out of it
square
like he did.
punch right
Yeah.
to its
Yeah.
face.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he fucked that one up. It was instantaneous. Mine was just
Right.
like, "Oh, fuck,
It got
dude,"
away a
and then
little
just
bit.
glided until it yeah.
And
So I
and
got
as
that
soon
one.
it hit the ground and it was dead, probably.
Yep, yep. So
Yeah.
I got that one, and
Nice.
then,
Nice.
this other guy's son, he shot another one, and that was his first one ever. So
Oh,
we had 2
nice.
firsts on this
Yeah.
trip,
Like back to
and it
back too, like that?
yeah, he got the next
Oh,
one.
nice. Nice.
And that
Nice.
one, it was the same thing where he didn't, like, make great contact. It, like, kinda flew and then, like, went down fast.
Uh-huh.
And then, that one was another one where we walked up on it, but it made me feel better too, where he's like, "That's my first one." And I'm like, "Really? How many times have you gone hunting?" And he goes, "A lot." And I'm like, "Oh, so
Oh,
I guess I should feel good about taking one out on my first tryout, I guess."
nice.
So, yeah, and then we got one more. So we ended up with 5 total.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good
it was a
haul.
good yeah, and we coulda got like, if I would have been on point knowing what I was doing,
Yeah.
for sure I coulda got 2 more of those. So we coulda had 7,
Right, right.
8 if I woulda known, if I was a little bit better of a
Yeah.
shot at a distance. Because I think I coulda hit that one. I think I might have just let it too much.
Oh, yeah, and at a distance too, which means, like, the
Yeah.
spread of the pellets was huge
Yeah,
at
because
that point.
I would say he was probably, like, 75 feet away.
For a shotgun, that's a with birdshot
Yeah.
in it, that's a pretty good s
Yeah.
distance.
Which I thought was pretty close, but then when I saw, like, when they're flying up,
Mhm.
I mean, it's like 20, 25 feet in front of him, and he's bloom, and I'm like, "Shit, yeah, dude, that's what I need is that bird close like that."
Yeah, well, that's really good because I so okay, so, like, I have a little bit of experience with hunting, like, hunting birds and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and so, like, I know some of what you're saying, like, I should say it sets in, it's not, like, brand new to me, but
okay.
I didn't really do it, And I definitely didn't do pheasant hunting, but I've been around it. I've gotten pheasants
Sure.
from friends who went pheasant hunting, like help them cook it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I thought, wait a minute, I thought that, and I should say, so therefore I kind of keep up on it too, because it's just interesting. We have pheasants around where I live because of the flat plains that I
Sure.
tend to live on.
Yep.
And I had heard that pheasants weren't like doing that well. And in fact, our pheasants that we've had regularly, they didn't show up this year that
Really?
I can remember at all. Yeah.
Oh,
And it might have had to do with the drought because actually, I looked up the DNR, and I usually don't do much research for our random take, right? This is normally just
sure.
like character building, us just chit chatting
Right.
sort of shit. But I looked it up because I was too curious, and I saw the Minnesota DNR 2021 August roadside survey. Like that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Uh, Pheasants were down 25% from 2020, but they were close to the
Mhm.
10-year average. But 25%, dude, a quarter? Like that's a lot
Yeah.
of fucking that's a big chunk. But
Seems like it.
but they did say it's probably because the weird drought that we had over the summer and like when they did it and stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
yeah, they think that the weather really fucked them up. But it sounds like
Okay.
you saw something different. Like you had good
Oh, it was
success.
fucking awesome, man. There's so
Yeah.
many of them, and we didn't seem to go that far. Like, I don't know what normal is. Like
Right.
this was my first
Because your
time.
first
So,
time.
and also there wasn't any wind. Like I
Oh.
was, I was asking questions because
Hmm.
I didn't know, what this was like. I was trying to figure
Yeah.
stuff out, just like I
Yeah.
do when I'm fishing.
Right. That's what I was just
And I
gonna
was,
say. It's the reason why we have this podcast, dude, is
yeah,
just like
yeah,
that naturally curious mind that is just like, I want to
yeah,
learn this shit because this is fun.
yeah. So
I'm
I'm
not
like
out here to
walking,
just be like a guy with a gun fucking blowing
yeah,
away birds.
yeah, and I'm like, so we're just, like walking. Like, did you know they were gonna be here because of the time of year, or are they just kind of like you just find the tall grass and check it out, or what? And he was like, oh, like when it's windier, they'll like hold tighter to the trees. And that
Oh.
was really the only piece of advice that he said. So I was like, makes sense. And we seemed to have a lot better luck when we were like along the road. Like as we were
Mm,
close to the road, there
okay.
seemed to be more. And I'm like,
Interesting.
that makes sense because they got to find rocks because they don't have digestive systems.
Birds.
Yeah, they have the gizzards, so they have to eat like little rocks.
Right.
And the gizzard like grinds down the stuff so
Right.
they can digest it because they don't have a digestive system like us or like some of the harsher predators
Right.
where they'll just like eat whatever and it'll just take out anything.
Yeah.
But so yeah, um
Good.
seemed to be like more close because we were like by a gravel road, so I'm like,
Right.
this makes sense to me, like
Hmm.
that part I was expecting and it was kind of what I was expecting. So like that felt good to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but that
Right.
part I kind of expected to be a
Sure.
thing,
Yeah.
and it was. But also
That's
like
cool.
the biggest one didn't seem to be right where you expected it. There was one we saw and we were just like,
Oh.
damn, that's a big fucking rooster. And even the
Did
guy I
that one
was
get
with
away?
was like, that was a nice one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a good one, but that one did get away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that one I don't know. There were a couple that I didn't get a shot at, but we did shoot at and didn't
Okay.
get those either
Yeah.
because they ended up flying out. Uh, or there was some roosters too that took off like well before we got close.
Oh,
Like
so
they
there
just
were
end,
some jumpy bastards, even
yeah.
though some were holding tight, like you
I
said,
don't
like
know if they
1
were,
foot
yeah,
away.
yeah. I don't know if they were jumping because of us or it just happened to be that they decided to fly at that moment.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if flying is always like response of trying to get away from stuff and they just walk the most of the time or what, but
Yeah, I guess I'm not fully sure either. Prairie birds are weird.
yeah,
So you were
because
in
we saw some,
western Minnesota, right? Or yeah, you were in
yeah,
like western as it starts
I,
to get flat and shit.
yep, yeah, well, yeah, for the most part, yeah, I was out towards like the Wilmer area,
Mm-hmm.
like out,
Farmy as
not,
fuck for sure.
yeah, like a little farther west than Wilmer, and then just kind of like out in the sticks, like by, we weren't very close to a town, like I think we
Yeah.
were probably like 10 minutes away from a small town, but
Sure.
otherwise we're just like
Well, yeah, and
out
that's
in the
far enough west
sticks.
where it really starts to get flat because it doesn't stay. Basically, the Wisconsin border is rocky and bumpy and shit,
Mm,
but it
sure.
flattens out pretty fast as you go west. So you were definitely far enough west to be in like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're hunting the plains, we're in the flat, where
Yep.
pheasants hang out, from what I understand.
Yeah. I mean, so like it was plains, but there was still like contours and stuff. It
Sure,
wasn't like just it wasn't like
it's not
when
just like
you yeah, I
flat.
just wanted to like say that like it wasn't like a perfectly plowed like farmer's field.
Yeah,
We were out into like what I almost thought was like swampiness. I even said
really.
to him, I was like, I've always wondered what it was like out here. Like we were like walking right along like
Hmm.
cattails. Like
Oh,
he was telling me like go to the edge of the cattails, and then
really?
yeah, where it felt like I was in a swamp almost, but everything was
Huh.
dry, and he even said he's like, yeah, everything's dry this time of year. Like he told me I could have worn my tennis shoes,
Oh,
but my
really?
brother-in-law had to work that day because he's a police officer, and
Yep.
he was just like, we have the same size foot, like you can wear my boots.
Oh,
So I'm like,
nice.
all right, sweet. So I just
Yeah.
wore his boots, and now I'm like, well, I guess I gotta look into getting some of those boots because they're like the um like halfway up to the knee high, like rubber
Oh,
where
yeah.
there's no
Yep.
ties.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know if I like those.
Hmm.
And I threw them on, and I'm like, nope, this is impressive. Like they stayed in place, and I was able to trudge through like this tall ass grass and
Nice.
had no problems like
Nice.
navigating some really gnarly stuff at points. Like at one point, I like we're walking, and I turned to the left, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a big ass hole right here. Like I'm
Jesus.
glad I didn't step in that fucking thing. Like I don't know what
What
animal
the
lives there, but I'm talking like dinner plate size hole, and it went deep. And I'm like,
what the
I'm
fuck, dude?
gonna keep moving. I don't want to see what the fuck comes out of that thing.
No shit.
Like I don't even know. Fox? What digs a hole that big and lives
Right.
underground?
I
Is that a
don't know
fox
either.
den?
A, a porcupine? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck with a porcupine. Fuck
No,
that.
I don't want to either. But this is the sort of shit like I think that mm, to get back to like this sort of like trolley topic, like are we becoming hunters? It's like, well, yeah, we're not hunters now, but like, is it happening? I think the seeds are
Oh
being
yeah.
planted for sure
Yep.
because like I remember looking back at it where I was just like filming hunting
Mm-hmm.
and like that was when I was really starting to get into cooking and like now where I am after 10 years separated from that or
Yeah.
whatever it might be is just like I want to hunt. I want to hunt that thing and cook it. And so
Yep.
you cooked the pheasant. I already know that.
Yeah, I cooked a
So I want to
couple.
hear about that though too
I
cuz like
haven't.
you went out, you killed the animal. Not, I mean, whatever. Like
Yeah.
whatever
Dude, they're
that part
so
is.
much easier to clean than I thought too.
Yeah?
Like when you shoot them, they bleed out, I'm assuming, cuz there was like no fucking blood. It was
I did not know
nuts.
that.
Also, did you know that you just tear the skin? Like it's like not
Yeah.
even attached to the breast pretty much. Just like
Oh.
grab the bird and you just like rip it open, and then like there's the meat. Like
Oh.
perfectly ready to go meat. And then you just cut it off, and there's no blood, there's no mess. We did it on the back of a fucking tailgate. I mean, there was some like we had to like rinse it off, like there was a little bit left, but it was like
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
the most part I'm
It's
watching them
like when
like
you
clean
but
these.
it's the same thing as like when you fillet a fish, right? Like you peel all
There's
the scales
blood
off.
though.
Oh, but I meant like the rinsing part. I meant the like
Oh
the
yeah.
washing part. Like when you fillet a fish and you just like you get the knife nice and under the skin and you go and the meat
Yep.
comes off and the skin stays. You still have to rinse that son of a bitch.
Yeah, you see, yeah, you still gotta rinse it off. But it was
Yeah,
it
it's
was
the same thing with birds.
I
Like,
was
yeah, sure,
very
there's the breast and everything, but like you
yeah.
still got to rinse it.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I thought it was a much messier process and maybe longer too. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Mhm.
And he's like on the tailgate, like telling me the knife is dull, and has them all the birds cleaned because he only took the breasts.
Yep.
He said that there's like an extra bone in the legs or whatever. I saw some people like skin the bird completely,
Mhm.
and then you have like a little chicken where it's like the whole bird like
Yep.
ready to go.
Yeah.
But he took
Around
all the
here,
breasts
most
off.
people from my experience, they even with duck hunting, fowl,
Yeah.
you know, like other birds. It's just, yeah, duck hunting, goose
Yeah.
hunting. Goose are fucking huge. Still, most people just
Oh,
take the breasts off them.
yeah.
You're like, okay,
And like, and I'm adventurous and I was like trying stuff. So when he's like, and that's it, we just take the breasts. I'm like, you don't take any of the like the liver?
giblets.
Like, what do you do with the liver? And like, cause that's the part that I was interested in. Like, I didn't care about the rest of them, but I'm like,
Hmm.
I'll definitely take the liver. And he's like, you want them? And he's like, here. And then he goes and like grabs from all of them. So from 5 birds, I have 5 gizzards, 5 hearts, 5 livers.
Nice. And
Yeah,
how do you go about getting those? Because that was the part I'm curious. Because so in back,
dude.
you know,
S-
years ago when I
Yeah,
was filming duck hunting and around duck hunters and waterfowl hunters, it was always just here's the bird, you know, breast, same thing you're
yeah.
talking about, exactly same thing, and never once did I see the guts.
Oh, yeah, dude. All as it was he just kind of like pulled the skin down because you just grab it in the middle and just kind of like rip open the chest.
Nice.
And then he just kind of like pulled it down a little bit further after he was like done.
Oh, and
Like the
then
breastbone was there, so he literally just had to like grab the
mhm,
skin and just kind of like lift up on the breastbone.
nice,
And then there was just like everything in there.
and everything just kind of fell out.
And he's pretty much he's like that should be the liver. And he's like this is the heart. I'm guessing like because it looks like a little heart.
Yeah, of course.
And then and like I wasn't sure what to expect. Like I know that like some animals have different hearts, and you know they're like this one's the closest to a human. It looks like a tiny human heart. You're like, damn,
Oh
that
yeah,
looks exactly like what I was expect a heart to look like. I was not
right.
wasn't sure what that was gonna look like because I've
Yeah.
looked in the fish, you know, before, and I haven't been
Mhm.
able to tell you what the fuck's what.
No. Like,
And
you can just see, like,
that's
egg
the only
sacs and,
animal I've
like,
ever
that one's
cleaned.
probably the liver. Like, that's how you
Yeah.
can tell on a fish.
Yep. That's the only animal I've ever cleaned. You know, I've had like
Right.
chicken and turkey and stuff
Mhm.
where it comes with the stuff, but they don't
The
have
giblets in a
hearts, I
sack
don't
already,
think.
just like Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. And I don't
Yeah.
think there's hearts in there. I think you have
Nope, there's hearts. Well,
are there?
depending, but we get hearts in the ones we do.
Did you? Because I don't
Mhm.
think like when I cooked it up, maybe I don't remember the turkey I did. I don't remember seeing a heart.
Hmm.
Definitely didn't see what looked like a heart like what I had here, you know?
Sure,
It
sure.
wasn't like I looked at it, oh, that's the heart. This was just like, oh, fucking look at that thing.
Look at that
So,
thing.
but maybe it was a heart and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know, but it was
Sure.
super easy. Like even when I asked about that stuff, he was just like, "Yep, bloop 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 bloop." And
You just kinda popped them
I
out.
mean, on the tailgate, grabbed all that stuff and cut the breasts off, and it was 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was another part where I'm just like, damn, like I had no idea. The
Right.
hunting's fun as hell, and cleaning's just like, bam,
Yeah.
all
Well,
this.
that's the not cleaning the whole bird part. Like, if you wanted the,
Right?
like, whole chicken, for lack of a better way of putting it, you know, like the roaster chicken from the
Yeah.
grocery store, if you wanna do that, feathers are a
Right.
bitch. That's all I
Yeah.
hear. That's all I hear, and I never tried it because I wasn't the one cleaning. I was always there filming, and then,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be there for the cleaning, but I'd just be filming it, and then they'd cut it and, you know, whatever.
Right.
It was all
Yeah.
just like, it was all done so quick. I just was there to
Yeah.
do my part, and I never had time to ask the questions. So that's sort of the difference.
Yeah. When he was cleaning them, the feathers were like on everything. So that's another reason we had to like rinse them off right away because feathers are on everything. But so
Well, just like
I think,
those when you said when you got hit and there was those like really
yeah,
slow
they're
falling,
just,
it's just like think about that. Those feathers are everywhere. Those things are just falling and sticking and bleh.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, as far as that goes, like once you get the skin ripped open, I suppose there's probably an easier way to like just kind of like how you do with the fish, like when you cut in and you cut the thing off and then you flop it over to cut off the skin.
Yeah.
Maybe it's best to like rip the skin open and then just kind of like fold the skin
Over.
underneath
Oh,
the
and just do
bird.
skinless bird.
Yeah, so like the skin's just
Maybe.
out of the way, so all the feathers are out of the way
Right.
while you're cutting off the breasts. I mean, it was easy enough. You just have to rinse them. But yeah, even when I got them home, like before I cooked them, I'm rinsing off the meat, and there's
Hmm.
like little tiny feathers still stuck on it. And I'm like, motherfucker's not. Like, I gotta really scrub this shit.
It's crazy.
So yeah.
I've seen that before. Just cleaning duck breasts. I've seen that before.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
bet.
so did you have to deal with the pellets at all?
Nope. There
Nice.
was only because we didn't have those real direct shots. I don't know
Sure.
where
Sure.
the actual hit was, but like there's no holes. The one that he fucking hit, that
Mhm.
one had like 10 holes in that one breast. I'm like, that's the one you fucking laid out for sure.
Not only did he hit the head 5 times, he hit the breast 5 times, the lungs
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, that bird was dead as shit. Like that's why it went limp in the air is because you just put BBs through that fucking thing.
So, the things like that, because I said, like, I got the dog who's, like, rodent hunting, and I've been,
Yep.
I've slightly been rabbit hunting before. It's like, dude, this guy, man, he
Whew.
wants those squirrels. This fall was absolutely the craziest thing. I watched him jump up trees, literally jumping
Really?
up the tree, barking, woof, 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 and I
Just
just
like,
look up, and there's this tree, and there's a squirrel just
oh,
frozen in place. He goes in, so I live near some wetlands,
yeah,
and when we'll walk him, and I'll just let him off leash.
yeah,
He'll bust into those wetlands, and then I'll listen, 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 and I can hear him and the squirrel moving, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden, up the tree, up the tree goes the squirrel, and I'm like, oh motherfucker, look at that, and I'm just like, oh, this is how you hunt squirrels.
yeah. Yeah, you get your dog to chase them out and then you blast those bitches.
And
That's how you
9
do it with
times out of
rats
10,
too.
dude. Yeah, yes. But with the rat, right? Is that what you said, rats?
Yep.
9 times out of 10, the dog actually catches the rat, from what I understand.
Oh, really?
Do they actually really get up the tree? Rats go up the tree?
No, not in the tree, but I watched a video where basically like the rat terrier would like run into where they were
Yeah.
and scare them out of their hole or whatever. Like
Oh,
they'd
yeah,
be
and then you
underground
blast them as they
and
run out.
he'd scare them out the one, and as they run out, you're basically just like shooting into the ground like bam, just
Yes. So
cuz you're not
that is
eating
the
those, that's just rodent control. You're just there to
that
fuck them up.
right, yeah, gross. I don't know. I eat weird shit, but I don't think I'd ever eat a rat. I don't know, there's something
No
about it.
thanks. You get to like I don't know if you get it from eating it, but like I heard not too long ago that a dude got bit by one and got the fucking black plague. Like I didn't
Oh,
even know
yeah.
that
No,
was
they still carry
still
the plague.
there.
Yeah.
They have the black plague.
Yeah. Yeah.
No thanks. I haven't heard of anybody eating a pheasant. They're just like, yeah, he's got, some
Got the
18th
black plague.
century fucking, something that we thought was gone forever. You're just
It's
like,
back.
uh, then I
Well,
wouldn't be
the
so excited about hunting.
no, no. The black plague would actually cook out its bacteria. But anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if it was
Right. But
bacteria
still,
or
I'm just
like
not going
some
to
of
eat
that
it.
shit.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm not going
no,
to eat it. But, oh, so the squirrel thing quick. Dude, when squirrels go up the trees, when they're being chased like that,
yeah,
they stop. Like 9 out of 10 that I watched this fall, they just freeze.
yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, dude, I should have videotaped it. I had
Yeah.
so I had the work van running, which is loud as fuck because it's a turbo diesel, like, and
Right.
like I don't even know if it has a muffler. I would assume it does. It's so damn loud. I wear headphones all day, which is illegal because you're supposed to have just one, and I wear
You mean
two.
you wear just one headphone all day, is what you mean.
Nope, I don't give a fuck. Come at me. I wear two all day. If you want to be like you, but you can't wear two because then you won't be able to hear anything. I wear two because this goddamn truck is so loud that it gives me a headache. You think I
Yeah.
gotta try to hear the fucking sirens or whatever? Dude, the head. I
No.
can't.
You're
I
basically
hear.
wearing you're wearing hearing protection is what you're
Yeah,
doing.
that's
Like,
exactly what I'm doing. I'm
if
wearing
anybody
hearing
tries to say,
protection.
like, you can't have 2 earbuds in, you'd be like, "I pause my podcasts in between
Yeah,
drives.
right, my
This is hearing
truck,
protection."
yeah, I cannot hear anything else over this truck anyways, so you're wasting your breath, dude.
Yeah, so anyways,
But
the truck is
anyways,
so loud.
I had it going and I saw this squirrel run up and there was like a Y in the tree and it ran up to where the Y was and it had like its chin looking up like this
Okay.
and it was not facing me, so I could see its stomach
Oh,
and
boy.
I knew it couldn't hear me coming up.
Mhm.
So I walk up and I get like, I mean, I'm like a foot away from this thing, and I just go, "Sup, buddy?" And it like turns its head and it like looks, does that like squirrel thing, like
Yep.
just like out of the side of its face. And it's looking at me and it's like,
You should have filmed this.
fuck. And then it like took off the tree. But it
You
was a
should have
moment of
filmed
it looked like our eyes met and he just goes, oh, shit. And but there was that moment of he's where he's just like, how in the
contemplating.
fuck did a human, I've never had this happen before, you know? He's just like,
He's like brand new experience. He's just
who is this
fucking freaking out.
fucking ninja? But yeah,
It's
I
so
should have
awesome.
probably recorded. I probably would have tried to touch it, except for I know that they bite and they have like rabies and stuff,
Right.
possibly.
Yeah.
So
They
I'm not
can.
fucking
Yep.
with that.
Yeah. Rodents in general. Oh, and so okay, the rat thing, right? Because
Yeah,
actually I think my dog is definitely part rat terrier. We didn't do the DNA thing or whatever, but he's
sure.
definitely part rat terrier.
Yeah,
That's why I want to take him. This is why squirrel hunting and rabbit hunting are like higher on my list, is because this dude gets so anxious about hunting, he'll throw up if I don't feed him at the right time of day.
really.
Yeah, because he just hears everything from outside the house.
Yeah,
He can hear it moving and shit, and he'll puke if I don't give him dinner at the right time because he's just got so much adrenaline in his stomach. And so the thing that you said about the rat is the same thing you do with rabbits.
yeah.
Rabbits and rats, you
Y-
just hunt them the same
Oh
way.
yeah.
You just wait and you listen and you listen and listen, and then okay, oh, here comes the rabbit.
Yep.
It's got to be 30 yards ahead of the dog, so you're good.
Blah.
Out comes yep, and bow, done.
Yep.
Rabbit's done.
Nice.
So that's why I want to do that because I know he could do that for sure because he chases the rabbits around
Right.
the
Right.
area too.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. I've always wanted to hunt rabbits too. Like I'm down for that.
Yeah,
I
it's good
just like,
eating.
I honestly had uh a small game license, like I don't know, a couple of years back, like with the
Hmm.
sole purpose of just like, I'm gonna find public land and just
Yep,
walk around and shoot a rabbit
sure.
if I see one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just never really
Never did it.
figured out like where I could go. So
Yeah,
that's another
no,
thing. When you're out and somebody's like, I have a farm we can walk around at, you're just like, shit, yeah.
you're like
But when
hell
you
yeah.
live in the middle of a city, you're like,
I
and
know.
I've had other people like, it's definitely that like farm town mentality
Hmm.
where they're like, just go ask if you can hunt their land. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What? You
Just
just
walk
ask
up to
people
their
if you can
door and
walk.
just be like, hey, I was just wondering if I could just walk out in your yard, and then if I like seen something, I shoot it in the face. Is that cool? Like that
I
just
know. Seems
seems so weird.
crazy to us. I know because like
But like
you
all
hardly
those
know your
people,
neighbors in the city,
yeah,
right?
yeah, all those people like know everything. And they were like talking shit about one guy where they're just like, he doesn't let anybody hunt his land. I don't know. He's not out there hunting it. He's acting like he's hoarding it for himself, but he's not doing it. So nobody's hunting it. And they were basically just like, this fucking idiots out here acting like nobody gets to hunt this shit. It's stupid. And we're here
Stupid,
just like, it's real weird to go talk to people, isn't it?
right? One thing that we haven't really touched on yet, and I want to touch on quick before we have to wrap up, is
Yeah.
well, okay. So to go back to the public land thing that you were talking about
Yeah.
is like, dude, we should really talk to Sam about that. He seems passionate about it. Our buddy Sam, what up, Sam?
Oh, yeah. What up, Sam?
Uh, but the one thing that I wanted to do, I mean, squirrels, all that stuff, is I want to get the wife to take a turkey with the bow because there are turkeys in my
Mm,
area, and
yeah.
they're all in people's yards and shit, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just see them and I'm just like, oh shit, there they are. Like we were just driving home, and I I'm not making this up. We were driving to Thanksgiving, and she can see them. She can see these turkeys in the freshly plowed dry field. They are the same color as a plowed field.
Yeah.
She goes, gaggle of turkeys. She didn't say that because that's
Like
not what they are.
gaggle of turkeys.
But she just points out, she goes, turkeys. I'm like, I have to double take, and she just sees them, and I'm like, dang. And she has a bow, and I'm like, God, that'd be so fucking cool to go do
Yeah.
bow.
Fuck them up.
Like, but they're always on private land. And like you were just talking about that dude that one like holdout farmer dude is like, I assume everybody's like that around here near the,
Right.
in like a city area.
That's what I feel like. If I just talk to somebody, they're just gonna be like, "Get off of my porch." Just like they won't even talk to me. "Can I
Right,
hunt
right.
you?" Just like, "No, you can get what?" Mm-mm.
Oh, you weirdo. And
Right.
that's the thing is just like, man, I need to get better at public land. Like if we're actually going to become hunters, like we just have to figure out that public land thing for sure.
Yeah. Or
And
like figure out like start, getting on Facebook or whatever and just being like,
right.
"Does anybody know who's cool? Or is anybody here cool? Like, do you guys have
Right.
land? Do you know how I find land? Like,
Right. Right.
somebody give me a heads up here."
Right. Yeah, for sure. And to close on the fishing topic about hunting is, are you missing out on good fishing? Because there was this Bassmaster article got me a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Stephen Blaylock, sorry, Stetson
Yeah.
Blaylock, professional fisher.
Yep.
He's on the Bassmaster. He wrote an article for bassmaster.com, and he's basically like, I know a lot of anglers end up going hunting this time of year, but hey, you're missing out on some good fishing. Don't shit on it.
Sure.
Kind of saying like, hey, if you're a fisher, don't just
Yeah.
hit the fields. Don't just go and hit the tree stand, man.
Right.
There's some good fishing to be had. And I know we've
Yeah.
talked a lot about it in our fall fishing as we get into the fall season. We talk about it a lot, but like,
Yep.
I just kind of wanted to hear you now as like obviously the avid fisherman,
Yeah.
and we're learning this hunting thing. We're probably going to do more in the future. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think? I'm just really curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think he nailed it. Like, don't just give up on one and go to the other.
Yeah.
In our state, it's
Hmm.
like you've been able to fish all year and now you get to go hunting. So I guess it's like personal preference.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
there is really good fishing to be had, but
Okay.
hunting is a pretty short window for the most part. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, I guess you could go like all winter, but I guess there's like a short window of like where it's nice weather, where
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so like you
Because
can
there's times like, I mean, let me, I should say this is, there's enough gear in the stores that I go to that lets me know deer hunting's done in the fucking cold. Like
yes, oh, for
it's
sure.
full on winter gear.
Yep,
That's
yeah,
hunting
because
that's
that's one
deer
thing that
camo.
I'm not 100% sure on, like, how long the season goes till, but I know that, like, you can do muzzle loaders now. Like, I think there's a very
Oh,
short window
yep.
of
Hmm.
being able to
For
hunt
sure.
with, like, a rifle or a shotgun, and then it goes to muzzle loader, and
Hmm.
before that is bow
It's
hunting.
bow season. Yep. In the
So it
early.
depends on what you're trying to do, but, like, pheasant, I think that's open for a while.
Mm.
So you can do that for quite a while, but I haven't looked into it much because, like, the hunters that were willing to go with me were just
Right.
like, "You want to do it?" And I'm just like, "Yep, I guess it's cool
I'm
to
in.
do it right now. Then I
I'll
guess,
go get my license.
yep, I'm ready. So let's do this." But yeah,
Nice.
uh, I think the other thing too is like, I mean, you could do both on the same day, especially pheasant hunting. That's
Nice.
another reason why it was so cool to me.
Yeah.
Was like we all went out and we were
Hmm.
out there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe,
Okay.
and that's it. We got five
Oh,
birds and we were just like cleaning them up and we're done.
right.
I think,
Like
yeah, I
all in
met
all
him.
invested, you were like
I
three and
think
a half hours.
I met him. Not even. I don't think. I think I met him at like 12:30. I think I was like 10 minutes late because I wasn't really paying attention. All of a sudden, it's like 12:20, and I'm like, "Oh shit! I'm supposed to be there. Like, I'm not going to be leaving until 12:30." But they weren't far away, so
That's good.
uh, yeah. So I met him out there, and I think I was done back like before 3 o'clock.
Oh shit. So
Yeah.
you were
So
already like wrapped up,
yeah. So you
putting
could do
livers
that
in the
in the
bag and ready to
afternoon, and
go.
then yeah, you could do that in the afternoon, then go fishing in the evening, like, depending on, if you have to launch a boat and stuff, that makes it harder, or
Right. Yep.
you could get up early and go fishing in the morning, and then when you're
Hunt in
done
the
fishing,
afternoon.
go hunt in
Shit.
the afternoon, like, it wouldn't be
Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
with the pheasant hunting, like that's why I was so excited about it. Like this is real easy to figure out. Like get some people together, do it for a little while,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then do whatever else you want to do for the rest of the
Yeah,
day. It doesn't
kick
take up that
ass.
much time. That's why I always thought like deer hunting, like I don't want to get up early and then sit out there for like most of the morning. Like
Mhm,
that part
mhm,
where they're like, I think that would kill me
mhm.
if I'm out there knowing that like I could be fishing right now.
Right, right.
You know,
Yep.
but
Mhm.
so it's all depends on who you are.
Yep, yep, and that balance. Yeah. I
Yeah,
had definitely had to bring it up because when I saw that article and, I thought about it. We also have that weird spot in this part of the country, in part of the year,
yeah,
where there's enough ice to not be able to fish
yeah,
because it's too thin
yep,
to, like, cast into, right?
yeah,
But there's
dude. It's
not enough
been
to hold your weight, so it's just like, "Hey, those are your opportune days too." So if you're just like I get what you're saying. There's
yeah,
easily a balance that can be had there. You don't have to be an angler that misses out on good fall fishing because you wanna go hunting. Like,
right,
obviously, you can't predict the weather, but
yeah,
there's, like there's workarounds there, and that's cool. That's cool to hear because it was on my mind immediately when I thought about this topic. I was like, "You
yeah,
seem like you had a ton of fun and it was great, but, like, what if you had the opportunity to go fishing? Like, what if fishing was just set up for you? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what if you put that same effort into going fishing and you're just like, easily could balance that shit."
yeah. I mean, if like if you were like you got a day of like trophy hunting for pheasants, or you get to do a trophy fishery in like the fall,
Hmm.
and like how the pheasants where we knew where we were walking, if you knew where you were catching fish, like it wasn't my first time on that lake,
Hmm.
and I had a good hunch like that, like this is where they're gonna be or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'd take fishing for sure.
Sure.
Like I'm still more of a fisherman, but that hunting
Right.
was
Right.
just fucking dope. Where
Yeah.
where it's just like kind of a like you were saying, where like the lake is like half iced over, and I'm
Hmm.
not even sure where it is, and it's like kind of a hassle to go and launch the boat and stuff. It's
Hmm.
like, mm, for
Mm.
sure, I'll go walk around and like take a couple of pheasants. We'll do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Plus, it's
man.
like part of like I love catching fish, but at the same time, I like eating the stuff too. So
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
I've been eating fish all year, and now I got a chance to go and catch some other, or
Right.
get some other wild game.
Right.
That's exciting to me. Like, yeah, let's
Hmm.
switch it up.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
another
Which
reason I don't deer hunt because like that's so much more of a commitment. Like you gotta
to,
get like a deep freezer and stuff and go get it
right.
processed. Like
Like, you
that's
have
a
to be
lot of
equipped
meat.
beyond the license, beyond the gun. Like, you
Yeah,
have to be equipped to store that large amount of meat that you're about to take. Because I
yeah,
think I think we just said it without saying it, and so I'll just say it as like, oh, we're definitely in it for the food. Like, even me saying like
yes,
squirrels and rabbits and like I want to go dove hunting too is just like
yeah.
I don't care that they're small. I'm gonna
No,
eat it.
right, yeah.
Totally.
It's just like panfish.
Oh,
There's
for
definitely bigger
sure,
fish to
dude.
be caught, but
Right.
panfish are
Right.
delicious.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Good
yeah,
fucking point, man.
but like um, as far as hunting goes, in I just gonna trying to kill time until I remember what I was talking about, but I can't.
I was
So
gonna say you don't have to kill time. I'm trying
I'm
to
just
wrap
like
up the podcast
I'm
right
just
now.
like, damn it. Well, I was just gonna say one thing, and I can't remember. We were talking about hunting and shoot. Oh, I was gonna say deer hunting.
Mhm.
If I do go deer hunting,
Mhm.
like for whatever reason, even though you're sitting in one spot waiting,
Mhm.
there's something different to me about bow hunting.
Yeah.
Like there's a different feel. I would
Different
love to go
connection.
bow hunting for
Sure.
deer.
Sure.
Something about that. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Like turkey. I get why people would want to take turkey with a bow, but at the same time, like I'd be okay with shooting it. I'm not opposed to that. But for
Sure.
some reason, like a deer, if I got to sit in one spot, but like you're wearing your ghillie suit or whatever, and you're like, I am the woods. Like, there's something different about that.
Sure.
Where with the gun, you're just like, I'm just up here waiting for one to stroll through. I mean, I know you hunt deer from a deer stand too, or the bow from a deer stand too. But
right, but I understand. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
You just feel like a different. You're even though you've never done it, you can just like you think you have this feeling that just that different connection, like a different weapon, is just going to have a different connection, and I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I bet you do, and you would. So yeah.
That's another thing too about like cleaning the fucking thing. Like
Cleaning deer?
I don't know why I just said that's another thing. Like you didn't say anything about that. I'm like, yeah, that's another thing. But cleaning the deer, like I was talking about cleaning the pheasants, it was so
right
mess free.
Yeah.
And a deer, I'm just like, oh, that just seems like a lot of guts.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
So
I've done it. It's a lot of work.
Oh, have you done it before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't go hunting. Woke up, hey, I got a deer. You want to come help clean? Well, yeah, I'm gonna eat the meat, so I gotta help clean it.
Yep.
And
kind of feel obligated to.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I definitely want that backstrap. So yeah, let me get in some clothes, and
yeah,
I just woke up. Hey, I got a deer. Yeah, I gotta go get some bloody on. Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
Gotcha. We go. Let's do it.
All right, man. Fuck it. We gotta wrap it up. It's too long. We've gone too long. Okay, so hey, as we talked about in the first half, please go over to youtube.com, search up Real AF TV, real like fish and reel, and comment on the damn situation, because I don't think that I got all the story, and I'd like to talk more about it with everybody and people who have other sides. And if you don't like stories about killing shit, then I don't know why the fuck you're talking to a fish podcast. I don't know even why you're listening to a fish podcast.
Yeah.
Then
I'm a little bit confused myself.
Some people make that separate. Yeah, but some people make that separation, like between murdering a fish and like murdering a mammal. I'm just like, I don't know, you're killing an animal, but still kind of in the end.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I'm just like, you're still.
Fish have got to be like the dumbest fucking animals. They're so fucking dumb.